Hi, this is Scott with Android Guys. I am here with Luke.
Hey,
Luke, we're going to talk about Pure Talk.
Pure Talk Wireless.
Pure Talk, yes. We're going to talk about their phones, and we're going to pick out some of the best phones for consumers,
Yes.
as we've done with a number of carriers.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting one.
It is.
One of the things we find with MVNOs, prepaid carriers, and just some of these maybe lesser known carriers is the handset selection can be one way or the other.
Right.
One is surprisingly good and diverse, and then the other side is, boy, they don't have a lot.
And sometimes they don't have anything that's come out in the last year or two.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's very interesting. Like, maybe they should just bring your own phone.
Yeah, are they waiting to run out of stock? Are they going to go out of business, or what's going on here?
This particular carrier, Pure Talk, it's a case where it has some decent phones.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them.
Nope.
But these are phones that you've seen pop up on a number of best of lists that we talked about before.
Sure.
And at the end of the year, you're going to see, these are some of the more popular phones, best sellers of the year.
Yeah.
So what we do is we will break the phones down into target user and kind of profile their needs.
Sure.
So there's an entry level, a mid range, and a high end. And we will kind of pick out what phone we think is best suited for their needs.
Right.
Again, these aren't to say these are the only phones or the only options we would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
These are good starting points. These are the phones that you'll see other outlets kind of confirming our picks.
Yeah.
So for the entry level user, for somebody who doesn't have a lot of necessarily high demands.
Sure.
They just kind of want a nice phone to get them started.
Mm-hmm.
A nice, maybe take some pictures, social media, maybe an occasional game or two.
Mm-hmm.
Or they want to buy something that says, I need to keep my budget in line.
Sure.
I'm getting a phone for, 2 kids.
Yeah.
It's their first phones. Or I need to buy a handful of phones and I just kind of want to keep things low. What do we have for the entry-level phone at Pure Talk?
So time and time again, this phone shows up. And there's a reason it's a good entry-level phone because it checks all the boxes. This is the Samsung A13 5G. This has a 6.5-inch screen, 4 gigs of RAM with 64 gigabytes of storage. You can expand that up to a terabyte with a micro SD card. It runs Android 12, so the most current version of Android. It's got a nice octa-core processor. You're going to have a nice front-facing camera, 32 megapixel, good 50 megapixel rear-facing camera with a macro camera and a depth camera. And then this has, all the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi and all that kind of stuff you expect, but it also adds a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. That is a feature that we see dropping off of phones like it's just going out of style, which is an unfortunate thing because there are people that just love headphones. There's a lot of vehicles that, maybe an aftermarket stereo or your car only has an audio jack input. Yep. And so if you're trying to listen to, your Spotify or your YouTube music or Apple Music or whatever you're doing, you need a headphone jack to go into it. And if you have to use that USB-C, you can't charge your phone while you're driving too.
Right. So
this, all that to say, this has one of those features that's harder and harder to find on a phone, and this is an entry-level device. There's really not much more to say about this phone. It's a great phone, and it's $50 right now.
So that's a lot cheaper than what most carriers offer this phone.
Sure.
Normally, we'll qualify this and say, hey, this price is pretty much in line with everybody else. Mm-hmm. Right now, depending on when you're listening to this is, early August, and it's $50.
Yeah,
that's a crazy buy. At $250, we have no problem recommending this thing.
Yeah,
at $50, you'd be stupid to not get this one as your entry level.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
now if you need more capabilities with your phone, if you want to do more stuff, we have other options.
Yep,
we have other recommendations, but if you're just looking for a phone or maybe something to start your kids out on or something for a family member that, maybe you're adding mom to your phone plan or something like that, for $50, the A13 is just a great phone.
Yeah. Now, when you start talking about mid-range phones, this is where things get a little different for Pure Talk.
Sure.
They don't really have. This is gonna blend what might be a flagship phone.
Sure.
At other carriers.
Right.
It's gonna kind of be the mid-range one that we put.
Yeah,
here.
Pure Talk seems to be kind of a teeter-totter.
Yeah.
They have low-end phones and high-end phones.
Yeah.
They don't really have a lot of mid-range price point options.
Yeah.
They don't have mid-range devices. They have some mid-range price point options. And that's kind of where we've fallen with this choice.
Yeah, this is another one of those phones that, as of today, is considerably less expensive or cheaper than you'll find buying it outright or from some other carriers.
Mm-hmm.
So this kind of forced our hand, or kind of made it easier for us to say, yes, at the mid-range, this is the price we normally work with. This is a hell of a phone as a mid-range phone.
Yeah.
Otherwise known as a flagship at plenty of other places.
Yeah.
So we selected the
Samsung S22.
Yeah, the Galaxy S22 is the flagship line for Samsung.
Yep.
It comes in a number of versions.
Yeah.
Each of them has a little bit different reason to consider them, or
a couple extra bells and whistles.
Yeah. But when you go with the standard bearer, the S22 is a nice, well-rounded flagship experience.
Yeah.
As a mid-range phone, it punches above that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's an Android 12 phone, 6.1 inch display. This has multiple cameras on the back, 50 megapixel. You've got ultra wide. You have the display with the fingerprint reader in there. You have 8 gigabytes of memory, 128 storage. Got a decent battery. This is a 4,500 milliamp battery, but it does have wireless charging.
Yep.
It's a more polished phone. The Galaxy S22 is a beautiful phone. And it also, go ahead.
You're going to have a 120 hertz refresh rate, so that screen is going to be really ultra smooth as far as browsing the web or looking at text. And then you also get IP68 water and dust resistance.
So those are features that are those are flagship worthy.
Yeah, definitely.
So when we say mid-range, you're getting an awful lot here for the $550 price.
Yeah, and that's more just the idea of, if this person is saying, hey, what do you recommend at Pure Talk? Okay, here's the entry-level phone. Well, I'm willing to spend a little bit more.
Yeah. For
a little bit more, you're getting a lot more phone. And, when we said the price on this, normally it's around $800 everywhere you look.
Yep.
From Pure Talk, you're going to get it for $549.
Yeah.
Which is a steal.
Yeah. So since that kind of takes our flagship and pushes it down to the mid-range, what did we do for the flagship user then?
So for the flagship user, your budget just bumped up by a slight bit, not a whole lot, comparatively to what you normally would get for a flagship experience. We went with the same line, the S22, but we went with the Ultra. And so with the Ultra, you're going to get a little bit bigger screen. You still get that high refresh rate. It gets access to the S Pen.
Yeah.
So you're going to have access to a stylus. Now that doesn't come with it.
No, on this does.
Yeah, on the Ultra it does.
Yeah,
yes.
This one is embedded.
Yeah.
Pops out. There are other models where it's compatible.
It's compatible with the S Pen, yeah. So yeah, you'll get access to that stylus to be able to do any kind of note taking or mocking up photos or, signing documents, kind of whatever you need to do. And then you just get some better camera capabilities. The battery is
5,000 milliamp.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It dials that up. It's got a little bit more memory, a little bit more storage. little bit better camera compared to the standard S22.
Right.
So you get a bigger screen. The large battery is also, again, wireless charging capability. You have the power sharing if you need to charge up an external device or another person. But the main draw here is going to be that big screen and stylus capability.
Yeah.
At 6.8 inches, high refresh rate. It's nice. And again, the phone is a looker that is available. They have it in Phantom Black. They also have a 256 gigabyte version. If you are looking to buy the phone outright, sometimes you'll find it available in other colors. But that black is, kind of it's a sharp black.
Yeah.
The phone itself is very nice. That edge to edge display. It's the top of the line for
right.
Samsung as of today.
Right.
So
the price points on those, the S22 Ultra, the 128 gig is $949, and then the 256 is $1049.
Yeah. And again, those are less expensive.
Those are still less expensive than retail from Samsung or from other carriers that we've seen.
Yeah.
But honestly, personally, if you were thinking of going to Pure Talk, I'm going to say probably the S22 is going to be the better value.
Yeah.
Because you really, if you really want that pen, the S Pen access, then obviously the Ultra is the way to go. But you're losing that and a little bit of screen real estate and a little bit of battery life for a phone. You're going to save $400.
Yeah. To me, it's start at the S22, and then you really have to kind of talk yourself into spending that extra money.
Sure.
You have to justify that to yourself.
Sure.
As far as I'm concerned.
Sure.
So those are our picks for Pure Talk. And again, they have a couple of other models at different price points. If you are buying your phone outright, you want to bring it to them, they're going to be compatible with pretty much all the unlocked phones out there. But yeah, those are our picks for best phones at Pure Talk for summer 2022.
Thanks for listening.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.